I think about these new rates, majority of the rates are very, very high. I think the one which I think is very abnormal is the new IDs. The new ID are charging 1,000. You remember these are just essentially high school students. They're just coming from the classroom to become a majority. So when you put that fee at 1,000, sometimes imagine that 1,000 is easier for those who make policy. Sometimes, like me when I was going, to find even 10 was very hard. So there's somebody to find 1,000. And the challenge is that this ID, the challenge with the ID is that if you don't have an ID, you can't even get the employment. You can't move. You can't go to anywhere. Yeah. So I think it's very unfair, especially for new, what they call the NPR, not the early register. So sometimes I think this is one which I feel very bad. Then in addition, I also feel bad for marriage, because the Marriage Act ensures let us register our marriages, but they are now putting the marriage fee to be around 30,000, which was used to be 2,700. Then for those people also who are born outside and they want to become citizens, as by Article 12 to 15 of the Constitution, we talk about citizenship. Is it processing fees 200,000? Then now the actual aspect, the fee for that is a million. So essentially to become a citizen, when you are a citizen, just to confirm, but the only error or mistake you made was to be born outside the country. So you need 1.2 million to be a citizen of Kenya, which I think this is ridiculous. Generally, the cost of, you commit the Finance Act, we essentially put a lot of taxes from fuel. We had last time the CS for energy was saying we expect fuel to be 300 shillings per litre. This essentially will affect the common man. So essentially, even like the cost of living is very high. And even the cost of living, maisha imekuwa ngumu, the cost of living, LIVING, is very high. Now the cost of living kutoka, LEAV, is also very high. You can't toka, you can't move. So the cost ya kuishi ni ngumu, na the cost of living, kutoka Kenya to live, you need a passport, is also very high. So it's very, I think the one which essentially makes me very bad. And in any case, like, even a lost ID, for example, if you lose an ID, be ready to pay 2,000. 2,000. Remember, even normal, if you find like Mkora, in fact, you want to snatch your kabambe, which is worth 100,000, you better allow him to take a kabambe, but to allow you to give you an ID back. In that, the government will be 100, the ID replacement will be 2,000. So those are the things which we need to, because generally we are not against taxes. Let me state that we are not against taxes or paying the government. But those we are saying, let us have what called rational decisions on the cost. Let it be realistic. And also let us involve all members of society before the said levies are arrived at. Let's not have an arbitrary where a CS just wakes up one day, says an ID is 1 million, and then we do that. That's not. We should have what we call public participation. That's part of good governance. If we have governance whereby state and state officers have to decide what to do, I think it's not fair. So I think what I can say that let us also be reasonable, especially for the state and the state organs, and also involve us for those decisions which we want to make. Number 3, let us also be reasonable, because it's our country. We have nowhere to go. Hakuna mwenye na plan kuhama Kenya. Sisi tuko. Sasa kama shida tutakuwa hapo. So that at the end of the day, let us also have policies which are pro-people, not pro individuals. So that's what I can always say. Because even I heard even sometimes they were planning to also to have a smart card costing 1 billion shillings. One wonders what's the priority for this government. We have already have an idea. Idea would suffice. Why do you want to use another 1 billion shillings to bring another card which is equivalent of like a Huduma number? And yet we have Huduma number, we have ID. These 1 billion shillings could have been used to do anything else, to build the classes for our children, to bring drugs to a hospital, to bring surgical equipment to my department of surgery, and many other things. We should put priorities where it matters, not where it does not matter. Like for example, in the process, like we are talking that it's not money, but if you realize the executive, especially the president, is globe-trotting. Today we find him is in US, tomorrow is in China, in Malawi, others in Belgium, and ABCD. We should cut these costs and direct them to where, especially infrastructure, infrastructure, education, health, and many other sectors of the economy. That's my opinion. That we need to work towards making this country a better place. You hear that we want to be a middle-income company, a middle-income country. But if we do this thing, we'll never be a middle-income country. Where we find that the few shillings we earn, we waste them. We don't do anything with them, we just waste them. Then we want to tax Kenyans, tax again, tax. And the Kenyans are drop dead. I think these are the things we think as in policy making, we need to work towards having what we call a reasonable policy towards achieving. Currently, if you see, for example, our GDP to external debt is close to 70%. In a layman language, means if for every 100 shillings we make, 70 shillings goes to paying our debts, which is not a good thing. We should work towards reducing borrowing and having austerity measures, especially on the money which we have, so that we reduce what they call unnecessary spending. At the end of the day, we will make this country a better country than we found it. That's what I can